Hi guys, so basically for this video, the only idea I had in my head was I wanted to do a landscape, so of course I searched on Pinterest and just found the one I found the most visually interesting. And I know I wanted to work with like oil paints, and obviously I don't own any traditional oil paints, so I decided to do it digitally. And actually there was a different kind of landscape painting that I wanted to do. Well, it's technology was just not my friend. Like, I had a painting that I did before this one where I like took my laptop and stuff into the woods and like just sat on a rock and like digitally painted what I saw in front of me, and it was all fine. But then when I opened my laptop inside, once I gotten back to my house, the tab that I've been screen recording on had closed, and the whole file was gone. I mean, the digital painting only took me like 45 minutes start to finish, so it wasn't like hours of work, but still and I still had like the finished product, which was the painting. I just didn't have the process. So I mean, not all was lost, but still it's so annoying, and I keep running into problems with my screen recording program and stuff, and I'm trying to find a new one, but I don't know, it's just very difficult to find one that does the right things for the right price, basically. But yeah, so there was a painting before with this, but then that's when I changed to, okay, what if I just pull a picture off Pinterest, because I'm not going out in the woods again. Yeah, so I was just like, and I had kind of experimented with different types of painting brushes in the first painting, so it was kind of good that I got the first painting out of the way, because it was like I got to try a bit of everything out, and the second one I really knew what I wanted to do. So yeah, but anyways, I should probably just go ahead and get to the speed draw. So I went into this with like kind of like I had two brushes in mind that I want to use, and I just start out with the first one, and I'm just trying to like block in the colors basically kind of messily, just to get like an idea and like a palette down basically. And I was like color picking from the photograph, and I'm not like going for exact realism or like a replication. I'm kind of just like, I don't know, put my own stink on it. And I got out the sky pretty quickly because I love doing different skylines and stuff. But then I start working on the ocean, of course, and I get pretty frustrated pretty fast because water is pretty hard to paint. So then I just start bouncing around, like, going from like the shoreline, and then I think I fidget more with the sky. Then I try the ocean again, just bouncing around. And I wasn't really trying to get like the silhouette or anything in there. I thought it would look prettier if like you could actually see the sun and stuff. And around here is when up until this point I had been using the first brush, but then I started using this second brush, and I really liked the texture of it because I was going for like an oil painting look. And so then I think about like I try and like redo the sky that I already painted to like fit more of the texture of the second brush than the first brush. And like now that I've like solidly blocked all the colors in and stuff, I'm trying to add more details and like refine the messy shapes that I have down. Like the first brush is definitely a good oil brush, but it wasn't like even at the edges, I guess. It was like a bit more splotchy, which is fine for like blocking in the big shapes. But when I wanted to get into the detail, this like vertical rectangular oil brush, like I feel like it just put in like the sharp details that I needed, and it luckily also came with like a vertical not a vertical horizontal, what is it called? A rectangle, god. a vertical rectangle little blender that mirrored the brush. Basically, it was basically exactly the same, except there was no color attached to it. It would just like drag the color around, which was great and very useful. And I really do love the second brush that I chose. Sometime around here, like, I'm like really I'm kind of like avoiding the ocean a lot, but you know, I try, and like it's a lot of pushing and pulling with the darks and the lights, because there's like white on the reflection of the water from the sun, but then there's like the black of like the backside of the waves. So it's like it was looking a little too symmetrical for me, like a little bit too, like, you know, nature is like unorganized and stuff, and it looked a little too planned. So I try, like, you know, giving less darks or thinner darks, little streaks. I'm pretty much trying everything, because I even grabbed like a third, possibly like a thinner brush, that just to get in some thin lines and then pull that color around with the oil blender. But it was like, I don't know. Yeah, the ocean was pretty hard to wrap my brain around at first. So then I, of course, go back to the sky, and the moment I start blocking in this purple cloud, you know, I'm trying to finish in the sky, like, I don't know, something just happens, and it's like, oh, okay, now the painting's coming together, and I can like start to see it like forming, and I'm like, oh yeah, now I gotta redo the entire rest of the sky with this brush. Like, I really liked the texture that it had. I don't remember what it's called right now, but you can probably see it on screen if you like zoom in or something. It was a free brush that I just downloaded. I was like really loving the texture on those clouds. Like, it was like the perfect brush for it, and it wasn't a cloud brush, which, I don't know, like, I was putting in that purple, that dark purple, with like cutting through like the lighter yellow clouds that were in front of it, like putting that in, it was so pleasing. And I was just, you know, trying to get more of like a mirror of the reference image, just because I feel like it needed more of the darker shades, like, that it was missing, because, you know, those were just little details that I needed to put in that I hadn't when I blocked in the color. So I'm trying to like mirror it somehow. And I think I honestly liked my sky a little better than the real image, just because, I don't know, I feel like the texture was better than it was in real life. But I felt like I was really adding depth to the clouds and stuff. I was like really happy with what I was doing, which is rare. Usually, you know, for like 75% or like most of the painting, it's like you really have to trust the process, because it's like gets in that ugly phase when you're like just blocking in shapes. But like for some reason, like it was like only halfway through this and I was like already liking it, which is strange. Oh yeah, here I decided I hated the ocean and completely redid it. I don't know. It was, like I said earlier, it was just a little too symmetrical, and I needed fresh. I needed like a blank slate. And up until now, this was all on one layer. It was all on one layer, but I didn't want to mess up what I already had, so I just created a new layer over top it to redo this ocean, just in case I didn't like it better than the original one, just in case. So, you know, and I still use the blender, so, you know, it was pretty seamless. And yeah, now I'm adding like the sun rays into the sand, and yeah, comparing what the before and the after, trying to decide which one I like more. then, adding little details into like the sea foam, I guess, which it was a very interesting piece, because since there's like, it's a sunset and there's all these different colors, it's almost like a rainbow array of colors. Like, it was weird to me that like the sand and the sea foam was all like a magenta purple, even though parts of the ocean were still blue. And like, I don't know, it was very pretty, but I wouldn't have thought to like come up with this color scheme on my own if I were to just like paint like a sunset beach thing. So yeah, and I'm futzing with the sand because it wasn't looking quite right to me, but I think I eventually pick one. Oh yeah, the sea foam, I was like, I completely redid that because I was trying to find that right balance where it was also looking a bit too symmetrical, and like in the image it's like the reference image, like it's random, obviously, because it's nature. So I was trying to give it more of that feel, because even like unintentionally I would create like a not random pattern, like just on accident, because that's just how like most human brains work, is to create patterns. But yeah, once I started putting in like the shadow right here and then the little highlight on the sea foam, that's when I was like, oh, okay. I started feeling a little better about it, because I was like a little worried for a second. And yeah, now I'm just like putting in like most of the little details, like things that I, had pushed off until the last minute. Because I didn't want to do them. Like the side of the painting wasn't exactly like straight, so I needed to fix that. And I just needed to add in a little bit more contrast in the clouds, because there was more contrast in that picture. And then I was cropping it, and yeah, I think that's the finished piece, and I was overall really happy with it. I wasn't going for, like I said, I wasn't going for a replication, but I think I got it pretty close, even though I wasn't intending to. This was actually my first digital oil painting. I'd never worked with like oil brushes before or anything, and I did used to paint landscapes a lot, so it's good that I've been like getting back into the flow of that, because I did kind of miss painting landscapes. Sometimes it's like easier to appreciate like referential like nature and stuff in its own beauty, rather than like sometimes your mind is just too tired to like come up with a character or a pose to draw. So it was nice to just go off a reference image. And yeah, obviously if I could have like done it at a real beach, that would have been awesome, but it's, when I recorded this, it was winter, so that would not have been possible. But yeah, anyways, that's all I have, and so don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And yeah, I guess that's all. Bye, guys.